and support this resolution full force. Let's get it done. Let's go, guys. Woo! Woo! New York! How's it going? Woo! Who's ready for a Green New Deal? Who's ready for a Green New Deal? As I said, my name is Adeseli. I'm an organizer with Sunrise. I want to thank everyone so much for being here this evening. I know it's cold, but we're out here fighting the good fight. I also want to thank everyone who helped put this action together. We have over a dozen co-sponsors. I just want to quickly shout them out. Sierra Club NYC, 350 NYC, Sane Energy Project, Indivisible Nation Brooklyn, Climate Action Mondays, One Queens Indivisible, Rockaway Revolution, Empire State Indivisible, Women's Action Group of Forest Hills, Indivisible Empire State, Bronx Climate Justice North, Waterfront Alliance, Sunrise Columbia, and the Green Owls of Columbia University. Thank you so much, everybody. This action was put together in just a little over a week. We have so many beautiful faces out here fighting for a Green New Deal. I'm so proud to be here with you all. So thank you. Thank you all for being here and putting the power of your constituencies behind this really uniting plan, the Green New Deal. Because that's really why we're here today, right? It's about unity. Okay? We're here in the name of unity. We're here because the people in this country who are excited about a Green New Deal, who have read these resolutions from Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Markey, the people who are ready for a just and livable future are the many, and we are the majority. And I know there's been some news recently from some guy named Mitch. You guys know Mitch? Yeah, that's what I thought. Sounds like you guys know him. Well, Mitch, right? See, he wants to bring the Green New Deal resolution to a vote on the Senate floor. And we have seen this tactic before. We've seen those in power try to bury ideas by calling for votes before the movement, before the people of this country have actually had a chance to say our piece. And Mitch has got a shit ton of help, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. The coal, oil, and gas executives, with the help of their GOP elite cronies, have launched an all-out smear campaign against the Green New Deal resolution. That campaign is built on lies and deceit because they know if they told even 1 ounce of truth about what is in this resolution, they know they would have a losing fight on their hands. Woo, woo, woo. So we're out here today asking Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to fully support, to champion the Green New Deal resolution, to stand with our generation in what is literally the fight of our lives. Woo! Yeah. We're here to tell Schumer, if you fight for the Green New Deal, we got your back. Yeah! If you fight for working people, we got your back. Yeah! If you fight to invest in frontline communities affected by climate change, we got your back. Thank you all so much for coming. Next up, we're going to hear from Sunrise Hub Coordinator and amazing organizer and movement leader, Nicole Catania.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? My name's Nicole. I started volunteering with Sunrise in the fall of 2017, just shortly after my hometown in Florida was hit by Hurricane Irma. Growing up in Florida, I witnessed hurricanes and tornadoes tear through my hometown. I witnessed red tide and oil spills pollute our waters and devastate our oceanfront communities. The day of Hurricane Irma, my hometown was given evacuation orders, and my grandparents couldn't evacuate because they're both in wheelchairs. If the wind had taken out a wall or the roof, if their home had flooded that night, my grandparents would not be alive today. I couldn't do anything for them, but I can do this now. Yeah! These stories aren't unusual. People all over the world and in this country are already losing their homes, losing their livelihoods, and losing their lives to fossil-fueled climate disasters. And do not be fooled, this is not an accident, this is not natural. Their blood is on the hands of fossil fuel billionaires and the politicians they have bought into an action. Yeah! ever, politicians have put forth climate legislation, climate action that actually scales to the crisis. A Green New Deal is equivalent to hope for our generation. So, as Araceli touched on, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Ed Markey just last week introduced the resolutions for a Green New Deal in the House and the Senate, and it was dropped with 73 original co-sponsors. 12 of those original co-sponsors were right here in New York. But you know who wasn't on there was Senate Minority Leader and New York Senator Chuck Schumer.
Come on, Chuck!
New York, the state he represents, is also not a stranger to the lasting and devastating consequences of climate disasters, as we saw 6 years ago with Hurricane Sandy. 6 years, our trains still don't run. 6 years, and some communities have still not recovered. This is not an accident. Right now, Mitch McConnell is forcing the Senate to vote on the resolution for a Green New Deal. He is actively trying to divide the Democratic Party and kill the momentum we have built for the Green New Deal. So we are calling on Senator Schumer, as Senate Minority Leader, to unite Democrats in the Senate, to say Democrats are the party of jobs, Democrats are the party of equity and justice, Democrats are the party of hope, and they will vote yes in the Senate for the resolution on a Green New Deal. If young people around the country can meet with their representatives, if they can keep showing up at rallies like these, if they can travel hundreds of miles to sit in the halls of Congress in Washington, D.C. and fight just to hope for a future, then our leaders can step up and fight alongside us. Senator Schumer, we are calling on you. It is time you fought alongside us.
Yes!
I'm going to lead us in a quick song. It's the same line over and over again, and we'll just repeat it and get faster and faster, and we want to make them hear us, so be loud. It goes, it's also on song sheets. It goes, which side are you on now? Which side are you on?
Which side are you on now? Which side are you on?
Hey.
Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on?
I don't think you can hear us.
Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on?
Master.
Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on?
Thank you so much, Nicole. You guys sounded great. Okay, next up, we're gonna have guest speaker Sean. He's an organizer with Rockaway Revolution, and he was actually a first responder during Hurricane Sandy. So let's give it up for Sean.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank you guys for coming out here, so give yourselves a round of applause. Now, I come from Southeast Queens, Jamaica, Queens, where we never thought 6 years ago Hurricane Sandy could ever hit our shores. We never thought in the years, my neighbors never thought that, hey, there's no way in hell a hurricane can't happen here, right? But it happened. So I clearly remember as first responder, served 6 years in the Marine Corps, going down the streets. It was dark and gray, long lines at gas stations, people losing their homes, people losing their small businesses. And one thing that inspired me was that everyone came together, strangers came together, helping each other out, and that inspired me to fight for climate change, for something more progressive for our future. Now, a couple years later after that, I actually was an educator at a small community college in Queens. And then I met a student who actually was from Far Rockaway, but her family was displaced and they ended up in the Bronx. So she traveled 2.5 hours just to get her education because she believed in a better future. Now that inspired me to keep fighting today. And that's why I'm here today. Now, one thing I want to keep you guys informed that organizing is how we win this. We're here today because of you guys.
Yeah.
Now we can't wait any longer for any change whatsoever. Our friends in Puerto Rico can't wait any longer.
Yeah.
Our children in Flint, Michigan who are still waiting for clean water, they can't wait any longer.
Yeah.
Now Chuck Schumer, we don't have $1 million like our Wall Street friends, but we have morals, we have courage, and that will last a lifetime.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. All right, next up, we have a speaker from Indivisible Nation, Brooklyn. We have Liat, is a science teacher and is the co-president. Hi.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here in the cold. My name's Liat. I'm with a group called Indivisible Nation BK. And as was mentioned, I am a science teacher, and I recently wrapped up a project with my kiddos about endangered animals, and I had one kid, after learning about reasons animals are endangered, said, well, with climate change, it's kind of like all animals and people are endangered. So I had a 4th grader say that to me. And that, that's why we're all out here, because we are all of our communities, people we love, people across the nation are in danger, and we need our leaders to act like it. One of my very, very favorite quotes is by Rebecca Solnit, who says, "Hope is the axe you break down doors with in an emergency." Who here thinks climate change is an emergency?
Yeah.
This is an emergency for coastal communities. It is an emergency for Puerto Rico. It is an emergency for the vulnerable, low-income communities that are already feeling the effects of climate consequences across the nation. And we're here to tell Chuck Schumer that he needs to act like it's an emergency.
Yeah.
We need all of our leaders to act like this is an emergency.
Yeah.
And the Green New Deal is a bold, comprehensive vision for how we transform our society to meet the crisis that is climate change. So at Indivisible, one of the things we always do is we encourage people to call their elected officials. Who here has called Chuck Schumer's office recently? Anyone?
Yeah.
Yes. So what we're going, keep it up, keep calling him, keep calling your members of Congress. Even if they already supported the Green New Deal, call and say thank you, because they are getting, a lot of flack from the other side for supporting the Green New Deal. So your calls really do matter. So what we're going to do now is we are going to call Chuck Schumer and leave him a voicemail. So I have to figure out how to actually call and Chuck. So I'm going to call his office on my phone. I have all his district offices programmed on my phone. I highly recommend it. It makes it much easier. If you can't get through in New York City, you can always try Albany. I always get through in Albany. Okay, so we're gonna call, and when I put my hand up, we're just gonna chant Green New Deal. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, let me see.
Woo!
If you're just joining us right now on the live stream at home, we are calling Senator Chuck Schumer, figuratively here out on this plaza, and literally here over the phone, calling on him to fully support the Green New Deal resolution.
Green New Deal! 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 Green New Deal!
All right. Awesome. So you can do that every day. Just call, chant. It feels really good. We also have hundreds of letters that we're delivering today. to Senator Schumer, asking him to support the Green New Deal. This is another thing that I encourage folks to do. Get out in your communities, get letters signed. We'll give you our office contacts, and you can come and deliver them. And, you know, just keep up the pressure, because this is the start, but we have to keep it up. Who here is going to keep it up? All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Okay, how's everybody feeling? Let's get into another chat. All right, okay, guys. When I say climate, you say justice. Climate.
Justice.
Climate.
Justice.
When I say green, you say jobs. Green.
Jobs.
Green.
Jobs.
When I say climate, you say justice. Climate.
Justice.
Climate.
Justice.
When I say green, you say jobs. Green.
Jobs.
Green.
Jobs.
When I say climate, you say justice. Climate.
Justice.
Climate.
Justice.
When I say green, you say jobs. Green.
Jobs.
Green.
Jobs.
All right, everybody, energy's up. Let's keep it moving. So happy to introduce our next speaker. Her name is Alyssa. She is from One Queens Indivisible. She is a representative of Assembly District 28 in Queens, and she's also a member of the Women's Action Group of Forest Hills.
Hi everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm thrilled to be here today with the young people at the Sunrise Movement. As you may have gathered, I'm not actually a young person, but I'm here today as the mother of young children. I'm here to represent all the mothers who have laid awake at night with fear in their hearts, wondering what kind of future we're leaving for our children. This is my son, and this is my daughter. They are 7 years old. From the moment my children were born, the possibility of a dystopian future loomed large in my mind. The kind of catastrophic Earth that might be left to them has often been too scary for me to fully contemplate. Again and again, I've pushed down that existential anxiety in favor of just focusing on the immediate care of my children and the task of keeping them safe from day to day. And controlling only the small things I felt that I could actually control. For so long, I felt that there was no solution for this climate crisis, so the best thing I could do was put my head down and take care of my children in the here and now. That cycle of fear and denial ended the day I discovered the Sunrise Movement. Young people half my age had actually come up with a real solution for this crisis called the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal is a solution that not only addresses the climate crisis in a timely manner, but it meets that plan that addresses the enormity of the problem while creating a new and more socially just economy. As we know, yesterday Mitch McConnell decided to pull a political stunt by planning to sabotage the Green New Deal in the Senate. Mitch and the rest of the GOP are trying to paint any Democrat that supports the Green New Deal as a far-left progressive living in a socialist fantasy. To Chuck Schumer's credit, he responded to this Republican nonsense with the very same question that I have. What's the GOP's answer for climate change? What solutions are they putting forward? I think that we know the answer to that. It's none. They will put forward nothing, and while they have no solution, what they will try to do is tear down ours. So we have a huge fight ahead of us. But for now, I don't want to focus on them. I want to focus on Chuck Schumer, our Democratic Senate Minority Leader. I've been proud to have Chuck Schumer as my senator. He's been my representative in the Senate since 1998. 2 years ago, the League of Conservation Voters gave Chuck Schumer a National Environment Scorecard of 100% and a lifetime score of 92%. He's been a good advocate for the environment, and now is the time for him to become a great one. My friend, Professor Stephen Picard, is a climate scientist. He likes to say, if we were in a disaster movie right now,
Right now would be the point in the movie where the scientists would be warning the people in power that they needed to step up and take immediate action or face certain disaster. Well, right now is the point in the movie where the people in power either become the hero or the villain of this film. But this is not a disaster movie. The reality of the climate crisis is all too real. But the same idea holds true. The science is clear. We have 12 short years to fix this problem. Right now is when we need to take bold, unprecedented action. Right now is when we need to think big. Right now is when we need to fight with everything we have for the future of our children. Right now I'm asking you, Chuck Schumer, to be the hero that I know you can be. Be a hero for my children. Be a hero for all children. Be a hero for all these young people right here. And be a hero for all of our fellow Americans who deserve a bright future.
That's right. Stop being a warmonger.
It's not time for half measures. It's not time for incremental changes. It's not time for too little, too late. Right now is the time for you to sign on to the Green New Deal. Thank you.
Green New Deal!
Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal! Green New Deal!
That's right, y'all. Keep it simple. Green New Deal.
Green New Deal. That's what we're asking for.
G&D!
Woo! 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 I want to thank Alyssa so much, especially for sharing the story of what it means to be a parent of young people who are trying to grapple with the reality of the climate crisis. As young people, this is not a game. This is not a joke to us. These are our lives on the line. This is about making sure that we all have equal access to clean water, to clean air, to good jobs, good paying jobs with family sustaining wages, making sure that workers have the right to unionize, making sure that workers' rights are respected, making sure that we can feed everyone with healthy, sustainably grown food, making sure that our economy is an economy that works for everybody and not just a very wealthy few. So much of that and more is encompassed in the Green New Deal resolution that was introduced just last week by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Ed Markey and over 70 co-sponsors in the House and Senate. So not only is this the first time in a generation that there has been an actual plan on the table that addresses the climate crisis to the scale and within the time frame that science demands, but this also feels like the first time, definitely in my life, and I'm sure in most of your lives, that it feels like there's any real power behind this plan. And this is what it means to fight for a Green New Deal, is to be hopeful and to fight for unity and to fight for all people, no matter the color of your skin, no matter how much money you make, no matter where your parents came from. That is the future I believe in. That is the future Sunrise believes in. That is the future Ocasio-Cortez, Senator Markey, and over 70, almost 80 now, co-sponsors of this resolution believe in. And it's time that Senator Chuck Schumer stand up and say that, hey, I believe in that future too. Thank you all so much for being out here. Let's do another chant before I bring up the next speaker, okay? I'm just gonna keep saying these two lines and y'all gonna join in when you feel like it, all right? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop.
Okay, our next speaker is going to be Jennifer Scarlett from the Bronx Climate Justice North. Jennifer has been organizing for climate justice since the months leading up to the 2014 People's Climate March.
Thank you. Hey everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you to the courageous young folks of Sunrise. I'm so awed by you. I have a 24-year-old daughter. She definitely suffers from the stress of, what's heading toward us, and we're with you. Thank you. So I have a little story. 2 weeks ago, I was at a community meeting in the Bronx. I asked Eliot Engel, the congressman from the 16th District of New York, whether he was for a Green New Deal because he hadn't come out yet in favor of it. He said, well, I really think, Green New Deal proposals should be considered by the Energy and Commerce Committee. He just completely dodged the question. So we organized a rally at his office to deliver a huge stack of Green New Deal petitions. We skipped over the step where you make a nice polite meeting behind closed doors. We just skipped that step and went right to organizing this Green New Deal petition delivery at his office. Within a day, he called Sunrise and said, oh hey, I'm all for the goals of the Green New Deal. So I'm cool. And his assistant got in touch with us and said, so it's really too bad y'all, are planning that rally because now you don't need to do it. We were like, really? So we went ahead and did our thing. A few hours before we had our rally, Engel announced that he would be an original co-sponsor of the AOC marquee. So here we are in the local paper. In the Orange to back Green New Deal. So it's only the beginning. We have such a long road ahead of us. I would really encourage folks to look at the Indigenous Environmental Network. They have all sorts of great talking points about the strongest possible comprehensive Green New Deal. But we're well on the way thanks to the courage again of Sunrise.
Okay, y'all, we're gonna try that song that Nicole taught us again. All right, you guys remember it? Yeah. Nicole, do you want to help me start it off? I'm not good with tone and pitch. You are. All right. Ready, y'all?
Yeah.
Which side are you on now?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on? Which side are you on now? Which side are you on?
All right, thank you so much, everybody, for showing up. As many of us have mentioned before, this resolution was only introduced last week, and there's already an overwhelming amount of support that gives people so much hope. And I just want to remind everybody, especially the folks at home, watching online, on the live stream on Facebook right now, that this is just the beginning. And we know that the Green New Deal is bold. We know that it's ambitious. We know that maybe some people think it's radical. That is a good thing. Yeah. Because in order to address this crisis to the scale and within the time frame that science demands, we need to be bold. We need to dare to be stronger and better and more caring of everyone in our society. And so I'm going to ask everybody to keep in mind, no matter what happens in the next month, that we win after fighting and fighting. And even if we think that we can't fight anymore, we keep fighting, we keep going, we keep trying, we keep making calls, we keep visiting our representatives, we keep showing up in the pauses outside of their Midtown offices until they stand with our generation, until they stand with our movement, until they stand for justice, economic inequality, racial equality, until they stand for economic equality. I'm so sorry I misspoke. What a horrible mistake, but y'all got me, thank you. But y'all know what I mean. We are up against the most powerful, the most well-funded opposition that is more interested in burning the planet and in multiplying their obscene wealth that they've created for the past 4 to 5 decades. This is the reality of the situation we're in. We are up against well-funded enemies that are right now trying to tear us apart, trying to divide us on the lines of race, gender, economic class, citizenship status. It's horrible. And it's so un-American at its core. And when we fight for a Green New Deal, we're fighting for unity, we're fighting for equality, and we're fighting for a better future that is more just, and we're fighting for a future that we can actually live in. So I urge you guys, keep organizing your communities, keep coming out to rallies like this. If you're watching at home on the live stream, there's a link in that description. I want you to click it right now and sign up for the mass call that's happening tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know about y'all, but I'm running home. I'm getting on my computer. I am watching that live stream because right now we have over 1,000 people registered within just the last few hours who are ready to go up against the most powerful, the most well-funded enemy that we have, the fossil fuel billionaires, okay? Because we know that when we come together, we are stronger and we can win, and it starts right now. Okay, thank you all so much. Sorry if I made everybody a little sad with that last part, but we're gonna sing a song, lift our spirits up, and then keep moving.
Yeah, so pull out your song sheets. There's a song called We Gonna Rise Up. If you know it, sing it with me. And if you don't know it, you'll catch on and we'll sing it together. Ready?
We gonna rise up till it's won. We gonna rise up till it's won. When the people rise up, the powers come down. When the people rise up, the powers come down. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. We're gonna rise up till it's won.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna rise up till it's won. When the people rise up, the powers come down. When the people rise up, the powers come down. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back.
One more time, get it, everything you've got.
We gonna rise up,
Hey,
rise up till it's won. We gonna rise up till it's won. When the people rise up, the powers come down. When the people rise up, the powers come down. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back.
but the fight is just getting started. Click that link in the description. Sign up for the mass call tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, especially if you're watching it on a computer. I know y'all can make it, all right? So let's keep organizing, let's keep fighting, let's get a Green New Deal!
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Got everybody, give it up for Araceli! All right. I would love to let you all go home, but first I want a really good picture of everybody here. So if I was the people over